Okay, so that's it for that. I believe everybody has gotten their grades. You've seen your grade. You've seen how you performed um on the assignment that we're giving. So we are actually going to go through the assignments, take corrections, and you'll see exactly where you didn't do well, and just take correction from there. Right. So I'm going to share my screen now. Okay, for this particular live class, you will notice that the group was split into three. So we have a particular group for the general announcement and other communications. We have a group, a subgroup for live class. So that is where you would all the comments should be given for this particular class. You should everything should be done there, right, in that live class group. So that was the essence of its creation. So your questions, your the feedback, whatever it is that you need to say for this particular class, just put it there in that particular group. Once I say it, then I'll attend to it. Right. So I will share my screen now. So before I move on, I want to know how exactly was the week for you. I believe some of us here are very busy. We are kind of combining this with work, so it hasn't been easy on us. And I really want to commend your efforts for those of us that don't have all the time in the world, but are still turning up, still showing up, still putting the effort. Kudos to you. Well done. I saw some of the assignments. Honestly, even though the assignments that were returned, that were submitted, is not up to at least a very good number. But the ones that were submitted, they did pretty well. Like, you showed that you understand some of the concept that we discussed in the last class, and I must say I'm impressed with it. Some of you might receive would have received prime comments from me from regarding your assignment. So yeah, just to remind you once again that this is not just a casual program. This is not just a casual online course that you'll be taking, right? Companies are invested in this, right? Access Bank, particularly, they are invested in this, and the federal government with other companies. So anybody that comes out to be the best at the end of the program. I don't know how many persons will be selected, but those that would come out to be the best would be retained and would be selected to work. So you are giving assurance of being employed here. So that should be enough motivation to carry along or to do the task that has been assigned, and also to do the assignment that has been assigned, right? And just to make sure that you are following along and you are keeping up with everything that we are doing here. So it's not just the casual program that you just come take courses, right? And do assignment, and then do a project, and then they'll give you a certification. No, it is beyond that. You are giving the assurance of employability. So that is the more reason why you should put in more effort. That's more reasons why you should your dedication should be more than normal or more than usual, right? So I just wanted to chip that in, so you are reminded of that, right? So how was your week? I hope you were able to go through the materials I dropped on the Google Classroom. Hope you were able to at least go through the video recording, those concepts that might be vague initially, that might not necessarily be clear to you while we're having the live sessions. At least you had enough time to go through them and just understand it more clearly. And I believe you were able to ask questions, and some of you came to my DM too, asking questions, and I was able to answer as much as I can. Right. So we're going to be moving forward from here. But before we go to what we have for today, because today we are going to be continuing with the Python programming basics, right? But before we move on to that, we are going to answer the assignment questions. We're going to go through the assignments together, as I said initially. So without further ado, let me just share my screen. All right. Okay. So I believe everyone can see my screen now. If there's any complaints regarding this live class, please let me know in the live class group, in the live class subgroup on Telegram, right? So I gave two assignments last week. There was a particular one that was just in quiz format, right? That is for the session one, Introduction to Data Science. And then the second assignment, which has required you to write some Python code. So we're going to be going through those, the both of them. So just give me a minute here. Right. All right. So please let me know if you can hear me clearly in the group chat. Let me know if you can hear me clearly. Please, if you can hear me, please, I need feedback in the group. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. All right, thank you. So, so now, I gave two assignments, right? We I believe everybody got the assignment because it was posted on the Google Classroom. So the first assignment was on foundation of data science. This was just to test your knowledge on what we discussed in our first session. So the first question was, what is data science primarily concerned with, right? So the first option is creating databases, making predictions based on data. So it's obviously not the first one. I didn't mention anything about creating databases. Um, Making predictions based on data, plausible. It's part of what we said. Network and infrastructure, obviously no. This is this has to do with the IT people and the rest of the tech guys, but not for data science. Developing desktop applications, obviously no. This is for software engineering people. So then this is the correct answer here. Making predictions based on data, right? So the second question, which of the following best describes the data science life cycle? So if you went through the material I dropped, that is the PowerPoint material. This first option is the best fitted or the best suited option here that aligns with what we talked about. So you collect your data, preprocess your data, exploratory data analysis, and build model and deploy. Some of you answered this here. The what made this not to be correct is this last part: interpret results. In data science, the last part of the data science life cycle is usually deploying your model, right? You deploy your model. You don't just end the modeling your data. So you deploy your model for it to be used. That's what completes the data science life cycle. So the correct answer is this first option here. So the next one is what is a common tool used for data analysis and manipulation in data science? Microsoft Word, obviously no. Adobe Photoshop, obviously no. Microsoft Excel. Yeah, was a little bit tricky. Some of us picked this answer, Microsoft Excel. And the last one is Python Pandas. So if you paid attention and you were listening, you remember I told us about some of the libraries in Python that we use for data analysis that gives us the exact situation or the exact format of spreadsheet, and that is pandas. So in data science, we use Python pandas for data analysis. So it might be more suited when you are talking of data analysis itself, right? It will be better suited when you're talking about data analysis. Then you can go for Microsoft Excel. But for data science, Python pandas is what you use for data analysis and manipulation in data science. All right, so let me check if this thing is still recording to be sure. Okay, great. All right, so the next question, which of the following is not a typical task of a data scientist? Cleaning and preparing data, building machine learning models, decision marketing strategies. To be honest, these questions are very cheap, right? But it's to just assess your knowledge on what we did that first week. So it's obviously this designing marketing strategy. Nothing concerns data science, a data scientist with marketing strategy. Those are for the marketing people. Right. So yes, data science will clean and prepare data. A data scientist will build machine learning models, and also a data scientist would visualize data as well. Right. So these are the three options here that meet this particular that answers this question. So now, the next question: what is the main difference between data science and data analytics? Data science is focused on building networks, while data analytics focuses on security. That doesn't even make sense, right? So, it's obviously not that. Second one, there is no difference. They are just different terms for the same field. Hmm, that can be tricky, but nope. Right. So the third option is data science often involves predictive modeling and machine learning, whereas data analytics focuses more on analyzing historical data for insights. Okay, let's just go to the last one. So the last one is data analytics is exclusively used by financial institutions. Okay, now it's obvious that this third option is the correct answer. Yeah, data science is often more involved with predictive modeling and machine learning, while data analytics focuses more on analyzing historical data for insight. So, if you were in the last class, these questions should just be bonuses for you. It should be straightforward. The next question: which phase in data science lifecycle involves transforming raw data into a suitable format for analysis? Data modeling, no. Data modeling has to do with when you train your data to map the relationship between the input and the output, right? So data cleaning, yes, data cleaning, right? It involves transforming your dirty data, the data that you got directly from the source, into something you can work with, right? So this is the answer. Data deployment, no, it doesn't. There's nothing like data deployment. It's only model deployment we have. Data planning. This is the first time I'm hearing of this. Right. So the answer here is data cleaning. Right. So next question. What kind of algorithm would the data scientist likely use to forecast future sales data? Okay, this might be a little bit advanced based on what we talked last week. So we said sorting algorithm, predictive modeling. So if you were in the class, you know that yeah, I mentioned predictive modeling a lot, right? So and I gave an instance. I actually gave cited an example then. So the answer here is predictive modeling, not data encryption algorithm, not file compression algorithm, neither it is sorting algorithm. So next question, what role does machine learning play in data science? It is used to manually code data processing tasks. It allows for automated model. Okay, it is used to manually code data processing tasks. No, it allows for automated model building and the extraction of insights from data. Okay, it is the same as antivirus software protecting data. No, it plays no role in data science. Obviously, no. So the answer is the second one here. All right. So the second to the last question: which statement best describes the use of data visualization in data science? It is used. It is only used for creating digital art. It is an optional part of data science, rarely utilized. No, no. It helps simplify. Let me zoom in here so you can see better. It helps simplify the data, making patterns and trends easier to understand for stakeholders. Yes, exactly. That's what data visualization is for. It is used to make data larger and more complex. No. So the answer here is this third one. All right. So the last question, which most of us failed, which of these are Python libraries for data science? The PowerPoint presentation I posted or I used for the class, you would know that if you went through it, you will see that I included pandas, NumPy, scikit-learn, and TensorFlow. So these four are the libraries that we use for data science in Python. They are Python libraries for data science. This Django is a Python library, but it is not used for data science, right? So if you failed one of these, you failed this particular question. If you didn't pick any of this option here, if you fail to tick, let's say you pick pandas, NumPy, and you picked scikit-learn, but you didn't pick TensorFlow, you failed the entire question, right? So these are the libraries for data science. So please go through the materials again. If you feel any of this question, just try to read that particular part of the material and try to understand it better. So the essence of assignment is to assess your knowledge. If you failed anyone, that means you still need to understand it more. So go on to read more on that. Go through the video recording that particular portion, if possible, to give you an understanding, a better understanding, and help you understand it better overall. So that is it for the first question, for the first um assignment. But before we move on to the next one, is there any question? Please let me know in the chat room if there's any question regarding this particular assignment. Okay. Can you guys can you still hear me? Can everyone still hear me? All right. Are we good? Are we good with that? Do we have any question before we proceed? Does anyone have any particular question that I need to address regarding this assignment? Because once we leave this, we are not coming back to it again. All right. Yes. Yes. Okay. No questions. All right. All right. All right. Right. Let's move on. Let's move on. Okay, someone is typing. Let me see if they have any question. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on. So that's it for this. Everybody has gotten the grade. We upgraded the upgraded the assignment, so you have your grade already. So this is basically part of the overall grade you get at the end of this program. So ensure that you are doing all the assignments that we are giving, right? Because everything is going to have a part to play in the final grade you would have. So and that grade is what is going to determine basically we would have a scoreboard later on. The community manager will have a scoreboard where everybody will see their grades and how and their score in real time, and just assess themselves and basically just know where you stand, right? So try to do your assignment, try to turn in your assignment, and those that are having technical challenges, I believe we're able to like resolve as many as we could, right? So anyone that is finding it difficult to submit the assignment, please and please reach out to your classmates. Sometimes I might not be able to attend to everybody, right? And the ones I can attend to, I will attend to. The one that my assistant can attend to, he will attend to, right? And I try as much as possible to um, make the instructions in the Google Classroom very clear, right? That's the essence of the classroom to relay information to the entire class. So please, before you come to the group chat or you come to me or my assistant asking any question, please make sure that you've gone through the instruction, that you've gone through the videos, the video materials we posted, because I posted a particular video material that would guide and direct you on how to submit um, your assignment on Google Classroom. It was there. Like, let me, okay. It was there on the Google Classroom. Like, if you check that particular post, you see that I posted two materials. I posted the assignment material, and I also posted um, the a YouTube link to a video that will guide you on how to submit. So if you had watched that video, you'd it would have been easier for you. So I was thinking that some of us didn't watch that video. That was why we are having issues with the submission and all, right. So please try as much as possible to go through the instructions and go through the posts that are being made on the Google Classroom. So they are there for a reason, right? So that is it for that. So we are going to go straight to the second assignment we gave. So there was a particular assignment I saw. It was the person Joy, Nachi Joy. don't know if I pronounced that name correctly. I'm sorry if I didn't. But this is actually the one that I liked the most. Like she did a very very beautiful work. I won't lie. She did a very beautiful work. So I'll be using our assignments now to do the correction. Right. So we'll be doing the correction for this Python assignment. I believe this was the one that gave most of us tough times. Right. The other quiz assignments, a good number of us were able to submit, but this particular one, not a lot submitted the assignment, not a lot, not a lot. And for those that don't have a laptop, someone preferred a solution in the classroom. So please, I pinned the particular link to download the Python application on your phone. So another thing you have to know is that you have to do or pay attention to are the pinned messages in the group chat on the group chat. Please make sure that whenever you come to the group chat, check the pinned messages, right? Check the pinned messages. You would see important messages there. Those things that you might want to know, they are pinned there. So before you ask questions, check the Google Classroom, ensure that you've gone through the instructions and you've gone through the video materials. Check the group, the pinned messages, ensure that you've gone through that before now coming to ask questions on the group chat. So the link to download the mobile application is in the pinned message. So for those of us that don't have a laptop, you can be using that for now till when you are able to get access to a laptop, right? So you can be using that for now. So I understand that we all want have this passion to learn, right? That is why you are here. So you shouldn't allow anything to stop you at this point. So just use your phone to make up or to just for the meantime, right? So and some of us here we submitted our assignments using our phones and we did well, right? So it shouldn't be an excuse for anybody at this point again. So let's quickly go through this assignment. Let me zoom in so you will see my screen. Well, all right. So now this is the instruction I gave for this assignment. Okay, let me quickly check the group chat. I think someone sent a message. Is it your phone that makes the video content to be blurry? It should be your network, Olariwaju. Should be your network. Just try to get to a location or a place that has good network. The recording will be made available either way, so you can always go through it once we are done. All right. So now the assignment has an instruction, and the instruction said answer each question on a separate cell, either in a markdown or a code cell, depending on the question. So this is actually very important for you to follow, right? Well, what this means is that question one now, I discussed or we talked about what a cell is in the last class. A cell is basically where you write your code or your markdown. So it is this rectangular box. Let me zoom out. So it is this rectangular box that you are seeing, right? So this is the cell. This is a cell. This is a markdown cell. If I double click, you will see the markdown content, right? The markdown content. So that is a markdown cell. And now this is a code cell. They're both cells, but they have different functions. So I said in the instruction that you should answer each question on a separate cell, either in a markdown or code cell. Because some of us were answering questions that were meant to answer in a code cell, in a markdown cell. Yeah, I actually ignored a lot of things this first assignment because we are new to it. So, but moving on from today, please try to follow the instruction. Try to follow the instruction. They are part of your learning. So you also, as much as you are learning Python, you also need to know how to work with Jupyter Notebook, right? So all these instructions is what would guide you in working effectively here. Right. So now this question one, the question one said, why is consistent indentation important in Python? And what error does Python throw if the indentation is inconsistent? Right. So I love how this person answered this question. I love it. Right. So see how she presented it. Just like the tutor mentioned in the live class, consistent indentation in Python can be likened to the way paragraphs are formatted in English writing, right? So you would know, nobody need to tell you that this person was present in the class we had. So imagine going on, imagine reading a text where the paragraphs have inconsistent indentation. Some paragraphs are indented with spaces, some with tabs, and some have no indentation at all. So basically, she's just trying to explain the essence or the importance of indentation in Python. All right. So the other part of the question asks us, what error does Python throw if the indentation is incorrect? So you can see here that it is what we call indentation error. So whenever you do not follow that particular rule, so for instance, now this particular code block we have here, you can see we define the function first, and normally we're supposed to indent as long as we are still writing the function, we have to indent so Python will know that this is part of this particular code. So yeah, this first two line is correctly indented. So but this particular line now, as you can see, it is Python doesn't know if it is still under this function or if it is a new line indicating a new code line, right? So it is not correctly or appropriately indented. So if you run this code, as you can see, it is going to give you an error, indentation error here. So basically, this is how important indentation is in Python. We've explained it in the last class, so I'm not going to go over it again. So take note of that, so you don't encounter such errors. So the second question is, what are the mutable and immutable data types in Python? And give two examples of each. So for the we also explained mutable and immutable data types in Python. And if you remember correctly, I said mutable data types are data type that gives room for to change the content or the element of that of the data after created. So after you've created a particular data, if that data is mutable, you can actually change the content of that data. That is what mutable data type is. And from immutable data type, once you've created it, It's permanent. It's just like using a permanent marker to write on the board. Once you use a permanent marker to write on the board, you can't clean it again. It is there. You have done the do. There's nothing else that can be done again, right? Unless you discard that board. Basically, that is just the only way to get rid of it. But for immutable data type, it's just like using temporary marker. You can write on the whiteboard, and then let's say what there's a particular there's something you wrote that you didn't mean to write, or you want to change it. You can always come and clean it and rewrite something else there. So that is basically the difference between mutable and immutable data types. And I gave example of the mutable and immutable data types. So for mutable, we have lists, right? So we talked about lists. We talked about the syntax of list. So as you can see here, this is a list, right? This is a list. Someone sent a message, but we need to be giving us a list. I didn't understand your question, Abdullah. Please just rephrase it. So let's just move on. My list. The reason why I'm going back to get your feedback or your questions because I want this class to be interactive. This is a live class, right? This is not a pre-recording. If it's a pre-recording, then you would know that I will just be talking and talking and talking and talking. But this is a live class. I want it to be very, very, very interactive class, just like when we are in a physical class. Like as I am teaching, some persons might have questions. So obviously, and you would want to listen to the questions of your students. So that is basically why I have to go back to the group to ensure that I am in sync with you all and that I am yeah, we are basically interacting and the class is lively and all. So I didn't you can rephrase your question, Abdullah. I didn't understand what you said there. So let's move on. So now we have a list here for a mutable data type. A list, the person created a leaf, jollof, okra, beans. I guess this person loves Joy loves jollof and okra and beans. So yeah, that's great. So now to change a particular portion of that list, we can use what we call indexing, as I explained in the last class. So each of these elements have an index number. So starting from zero, jollof is 0, okra is 1, and then beans is 2. So I don't want to go back to what I've said. Just basically, this is the act of I am changing or replacing a value in a list. So Python allows for it. It won't give you any error, right? Same thing for dictionary and yeah, so we have dictionary and list as two examples of mutable data types that can two examples of mutable data types basically. So for immutable data types, we have tuple. You can't change a value in the tuple after you've created it. It will give you an error. So if you try to change an error a value in tuple, it's going to give you an error. It's going to raise an error, right? So it's same thing for string too. Same thing for string. So that is for question two. So for question three, I asked, how do you convert a floating point number to an integer? And what happens to the fractional part after conversion? So we did the arithmetic, we did the conversion, um, we did conversion in the last class where I introduced you to functions that can be used to convert from one data type to another, right? So now if you want to convert a floating point number, remember what the floating point number is, a decimal number. You want to convert it to an integer. An integer is a number without decimal. So what you use is this int function. So you write the int and then you put the floating point number inside the brackets. So this person did. This person actually assigned a floating point number to a variable, and then use that variable, use the int function on that variable, and assign the result to another variable. So this person made use of variable very well in this particular question. So that is actually the answer. So the question is int, and then if what happens to fractional part after the conversion? So what happens is that the fractional part is removed, right? It is removed. So you just be left with the non-fractional part. So in this case, you'll be left with just 5.7 will be removed, right? So the same way here, if we convert 3.7 to int, 0.7 will be removed and then we'll be left with just 3. So that is it for the question 3. So question 4, what is the difference between a list and a tuple? Right? This is another, although from the previous question, you should already know or a difference between them. So they have a syntactic difference. Yes, they have a difference in the syntax, right? A list is embedded. Their elements are embedded in a square bracket. So once you write them, use a square bracket, you are creating a list basically, right? And a list is also mutable. So for a tuple is created using your normal bracket, and it is immutable. So let's just move on as quick as possible because there's no time. So she gave an example of the list and tuple here, right? So with details. So question 5, print out the data type of for the following variables. So yeah, most of us got this one correctly, but some persons were not. I don't think they got the question. I didn't tell you to print these values. Like I asked to print the data type of these values, right? Because what some persons were doing were just saying print A, print B, print C, print D. You are just printing the values to the console. I needed to know the data type by using this type function. I introduced us to the type function in the last class. So this is what I expected us to do, right, in this particular question. So as you can see it here, it is even well arranged. All right, that is great. So for question 6, what is the difference between a comment and a docstring in Python? And how does Python treat each differently? So now I'm going to excuse us for this question. This question is actually a bonus question. I remember that we didn't talk about comment and docstring in the last class. So this question is a bonus question, right? So we're going to talk about it today in today's class. All right, question 7, do the following conversions and print out their new data types. So I gave an hint here, use the type function. So I needed us to convert or to use the conversions that we learned in the last class to convert all these data types to this new data type. So I wanted us to convert this integer to string, this string to list, this float to integer, and then integer to. So it's very straightforward using the functions that we know. That is for string, you just use the string str function and you write the data that you want to convert inside. For list, you just write the list function and then write the data type you want to convert. For integer, you write the integer, then put, so just that is just it for that. So question 8, create a dictionary containing the following information. Okay, so this one too is kind of straightforward. So you know how to create a dictionary. As I said in the last class, you have to use the coily brace. So and a dictionary has key and value pair, key value pair. So it has to be in two, like twins, in two pairs of two. Right. So now I gave you the keys here: name, age, sex, profession, religion, and nationality. So as you can see, the name here: age, sex, profession, religion, and nationality. So those that actually answered this question and used their name where I actually liked their work. It showed that they did it themselves, right? So that is just by the way, right? So that is just it for that. Basically, that is the question. The information here is just extra. Person did it, right? So question 9: change the element at index 3, 6, and 7 of this list to Python, data science, and Nigeria respectively. All right, so this is the list. We have a list of several elements, and I wanted us to change the list, list at index 3. So this 24 is index 0, 1, 2, 3. So you have to change this JavaScript to what? Python. So at index 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, you change data analytics to data science. And then the 7th index, you change Argentina to Nigeria. So when you print out the new list, it should give you Python here, data science here, and Nigeria here. So yeah, this is exactly how you do it. You get the index that you want to change and then assign the new value to that index, just the way it is there. So this is the syntax for doing that. So this is the output. So some of us, what some people did was this. Let me just create a new. So what some people did was just come here and they did 24, 56 programming, now said Python, 56 again, 54.3 data science and Nigeria. So this was what some of us did. This was how some of us answered this question. Like, no, this was not what I expected. I expected you to use indexing to change them. This is a very long process because there sometimes you have a long list of items and you cannot be doing this manually. So item assignment. This is basically an item assignment. This what this person did here, item assignment. So you are assigned the new values to the index here. So it will replace whatever is already there. So yeah, just take notes for those of us that are doing that question, take notes. So for question 10, I asked that we create a list, tuple, and set containing 10 elements each, having a mix of integer, float, and string data types, right? So this is just to test your knowledge on tuple, list, and set. So you can use the same elements. So as you can see here, this is the variable name, and then we have an integer here, 100. We have a float here, 250.75. We have a string here, right? So that actually answered, or okay, we have integer, float, string. Yeah, so this person got it correctly. We have the 3 data types represented in a list. So for a tuple, as you can see, you started with a normal bracket here, parentheses, right? So the same, you can have the same element. So for a set, you have a coily brace here, have a coily brace. So you can see we have the same set of elements here, right? So that is it for that. So that is the correction for the Python coding assignment. You can see it's quite straightforward. For those of us that maybe didn't get 1 or 2 questions, please go over it again. Look at what it is that you missed there and take notes, right? Because that indicates that you've not yet understood that particular concept. Right. So are we good? Are we good? Is everyone on board? Is everybody on board? And can you still hear me before we move on? Do you also have any question? Is there any question? I'm waiting for feedbacks in the group chat before I proceed. Let me just hear. Okay, great. So, moving on, we're going to be moving on to what we have for today. We're going to be moving on to what we have for today, right? So, last week we talked on we introduced Python, the basics, Python basics. So for today, we're also going to be continuing with that. I think it's yeah. So we're going to be continuing from where we stopped. We're not able to finish up with what we had for last week. Right? We're not able to finish up with it. So for today, we're just going to round off with Python programming basics. Right? We're going to end up with Aisha, you can't join the class. What's the problem? What's the problem? Um, you couldn't join the class. Which class exactly? Please, can you specify which class? Is it this live class? If it's this live class, everybody has access to it. That shouldn't be an issue. Okay, so just please sort yourself out. All right. We start with the basics of Python programming, and we talked about the basics, talked about the syntax, we talked about how Python is a general purpose level, high level, and general purpose programming language, right? With a clear syntax, and it's readable, very easy to read. And as you can see, and everybody can attest to that, Python is easy. Yes or yes? Let me hear in the group chat. Python is easy. It's not a complicated programming language, right? Because before now, I believe those that are not familiar with programming language, you would be thinking that this is a very complex something. It's rocket science. It's something that you need to be a guru, or you need to have studied mathematics and statistics and all this complex stuff. So it is actually not. It is very straightforward, right? You just need to understand, take your time to understand it. So Python is very relatively easy, relatively easy. So I believe everybody here, I promise you that everybody here, if you pay attention and if you do your assignment and if you follow everything we are doing, you are going to be very good at Python programming. I assure you. By the end of this program, if you follow through with everything, someone said Python is complex. Don't worry, it will not be complex again. After we are done. So yeah, exactly. It is easier compared to them. So just pay attention. And another thing, as I will continue saying it in all our classes, practice, practice, practice. Right? You have your Jupyter notebook already. You can open your Jupyter notebook. So just go there and practice. You don't need to be online to do that. You don't need to be connected to the internet. You can just write your code, get examples from the materials, from the books, and from you can also source online to just practice, get familiar with it. You get, and you that is basically how you get better at it. So yeah. We talked about Python. We talked about the applications of Python, data analysis, web development, machine learning, scientific computing, and the rest. So, but for the course of this program, we'll be using it for machine learning and data analysis, right, and visualization. So, Python is a very versatile programming language. I talked about the syntax, indentation, talked about variables and data types, right? We also talked about immutable data types and mutable data types, conversion, right, what we just talked about, and everything about that. Then we moved on to talk about print statement, right? I explained what print is, right? We've literally been using print since the beginning of this class and even the last class. So now this was where we stopped last week. So we're done with this particular material. So for today's class, we're going to conclude with the material we have for today. And tomorrow's class will now enter the advanced concepts or more advanced concepts in Python, right? Because Python is very vast. You can't actually cover everything in Python, but we will give you those concepts that are necessary for you to move ahead with the data science we are going to be doing, right? So now today we're going to be talking on comment and docstring. Did I talk about this last week? Let me be sure. Did I talk about comment and docstring last week? Please let me see the responses in the group chat. Did I talk about comment and docstring in last class? Okay, no, I didn't. You talked about comment. Someone said I talked about comment, nothing about docstring. Okay, partially. All right. Okay, so let me just take it like we've not done that yet. I'll just start afresh on comment and doctrine. Right, great. Please let everything concerning the live class be in the live class subgroup. Like every comment, everything that we're going to be doing, your responses and your messages, let it be dropped in this particular live class. So I saw someone dropping a message in the general group chat. Please let's just try to partition thing and make everything organized. Right. So we're still going to create other subgroups so we can just have a very good organization. So yeah, for comment, we are going to just start afresh on comment and doctrine. So now in Python, there's all we have there's all we there's all okay. Okay, there's what we call comments. Like this is not a strange term. This is not a strange word. Like or the other ways we've been hearing, like tuple, right? We are not hearing comment for the first time. Comment is what we know it to be. Like if you're writing a book, right? If you're writing a book, you can just comment on a particular portion of the book, right? You are trying to explain. The comment there is basically trying to explain a text or to give a more detailed explanation on what you've already explained, or just to tell you something about something. Basically, that's what comment is, and that is the same idea it is bringing in Python, right? So you can actually make comments in Python. You can actually make someone is trying. David, please, can you attend to those that are trying to join? Someone is trying to join and it's not. I believe it's your network. I believe just try to refresh your network. Turn off your airplane and turn on your airplane mode again. Just
I'm,
yeah,
I'm actually
good.
attending to them. Please go on with the class. I'll work on them. I'll work on them.
All right, great. So now comment is what we know comment to be. Like you can actually make comments on your code, and why? Why exactly are we allowed to comment, or why did Python give us that ability? Right. So it is very, very, very important in Python. So now, while you're writing your code, you are writing your code for two. I don't know if I should for your computer, and you're also writing your code for other people to read it. Get technically, you are writing your code to instruct your computer on what to do, right? Because everything that you're writing in your code is your computer. You're talking to your computer, right? But there are instances or there are situations where someone else will want to read your code, even yourself. Like you might have written a code maybe a year ago or like 6 months ago, and you now bring back that code. Maybe you want to work on it or you want to change some things. So if you now go back to that code, you will see everything you've written. But if there is no comment in that code, it will be difficult for you to understand exactly what that code is about. You might get an understanding, but it will be very difficult. It will take more time for you to unravel and unwrap exactly the idea in that code. The same thing for another person. Let's say you give your code to another person. Maybe you are collaborating with somebody, your fellow data scientist at your workplace. You guys are working on a project, right? You are trying to build a machine learning model, or you are doing a particular project, right? So your own code, you did everything, you did your part, and then you sent it over to the other person to go through it, right? To ensure that everything is in sync. So when that person gets your code, that person was not the one that wrote what you wrote. The code is it was written by another person. So for them to understand what exactly you are writing in that code, you need to include comments. So the comment is for the human beings to understand what the code is about. So the code is for the computer, the comment is for human beings. That is how it is. Code is for computers, comment is for human beings. So comment is for you and I. So basically that is what comment is. I don't know if I can explain further than what I just did now. So, and in comment, it has a syntax, right? Everything has a syntax in Python, right? So in comment, it starts with an hashtag, yeah. So once you write hashtag in Python, once you type hashtag, Python automatically know that you want to comment. It automatically knows that, oh, this person does not want to write a code here, or this person wants to make a comment, right? So now I'm going to illustrate and demonstrate all this thing, right? I just want you to understand the idea behind this, right? So what Python interpreter does is that whenever it is running a code or interpreting a code, once it gets to that point where there's an hashtag at the front, it is going to skip it. It's not going to run that particular line. It will skip it. It will see it as a comment and skip it. So that part is not for the computer. That part is for us human beings to read and understand what the code is about. So as you can see here, this we have a single line comment. We also have multi-line comment. So for single line comment, you can see that it is starting with an hashtag here, and then followed by the comment that you want to make. So this is a single line comment in Python, or you can write it after you've written your code here. Either way, it works. So let me just illustrate it for you here. All right. So let me create a new file, a new notebook for this particular class. All right. So we choose yes, and then we start the kernel. All right. So now let's say you want to create a list, like a list of fruits, right? And you want to replace some of this fruit with something else. So you come my fruits, you name the variable fruit, right? And then you create a list. You say orange, you say mango, you say banana, right? You come here, you say apple. You can come here, you can say pear. Let's just stop there, right? For simplicity's sake. So you have this 5 list of fruits here, right? So this is your code. This is your code, your normal code. And then let's say you want to replace mango with let's say watermelon. You want to replace mango with watermelon. So you can come here and say fruits. The index of mango here is what? Is 0, is 1, because the index in Python start with 0. So orange is 0, mango is 1, right? Python doesn't show you the index. You just have to know, right, that this is it. So this is 0, this is 1, and this is 2. So you want to change mango to watermelon, you can come here and say 1, and then assign it to watermelon. Let's say you also want to change pear to another fruit, like let's say guava. You can say fruits. Pear is what? The last item in this list. So instead of counting 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, you can always just say -1, because you're starting from the back. So you can just say -1, right? As I said this in the other class. You can just say guava, right? So you are replacing mango and pear here. So you just run the code. And if I come here and if I print fruits, so you can see it has printed it: orange, watermelon, banana, apple, and guava. So you've changed it. So now this is the code you've written. You get, like, it is, you understand what you wrote. But let's say you want to now send this particular code to somebody else to read it, right? They might not really understand exactly what it is you're doing. But now if you come here and add comments, so you can add comments to this your code. You can come here and type hashtag once you type this hashtag, anything that follows is a comment. So you can say creating a list of different or let's say creating this is a list of fruits you want to buy at the supermarket. Creating a list of fruits to purchase at the supermarket, right? Okay, let's add G here. So creating a list of fruits to purchase at the supermarket. Now you can come here and explain what exactly you are doing here. Replacing mango and pear with watermelon and guava. Right? Maybe once you created this list, you changed your mind that no, I don't think I want mango. I want watermelon. I think I already have enough pear. So let me just change it to guava. So like now, as you can see, you are basically explaining what your code is doing. Like, so it is very easy. Even somebody that does not know Python, if you give them this thing, they can just read the comments. Creating a list of fruits to purchase at the market. Okay, this person is trying to create a list. Okay. So in our comment, I say, what does this thing mean now? Fruits bracket one. What does it mean? But if they come to the comment and they see replacing mango and pear with watermelon and go, they'll be like, okay, this person is trying to replace these elements in this list with. So as you can see, this is the importance of comments. Comments makes life easy. It makes coding easy. It makes basically like you get. So it's a very good practice to always comment your code. So starting from today, any assignment I'll be giving you, always try to add a comment, trying to explain what it is you are doing. Just a very short comment. It don't need to be long. You can just be very short, a short statement explaining what you are doing. So it will be easy, right? So it's a very good practice because once you are in a very big project, you understand the importance of commenting your code. So that is it for comments. I believe that has explained it. So let me just chip in something. So we can actually comment by the side of the code. It's not just on top. You can come here after you've written your code. After you've written your code, you come here and write hashtag, and then you can say replacing mango with watermelon, right? So you can also come here and put hashtag too. Hashtag doesn't have to start. Whenever hashtag is, anything that follows it is a comment. So you can say replacing pear with guava, right? So this is inline comment, right? This is inline. You are commenting this particular line of code, right? So you can also do it like this. You can do it like this on top of the code before you write the code. You can do it after you've written the code. You just put hash, right? So that is just it for commenting. So I believe that is able to I've been able to like make that clear. All right, so let's move on to docstring. So we have also what we call not this. We have what we call docstrings. So docstrings now it has a more specific use in Python. It's not like comments that you can comment anywhere. You can just wherever you're writing your code, you just comment and explain. Docstring is different. Docstring is used. If someone can't hear anything, let me be sure it's not just her. Please confirm if you can hear me, David. And hello. Hello. Please, can someone confirm if they can hear me? All right. Thank you. Great. So let's move on. Please check your network. Right. Okay. So for docstring has a more specific use. Okay. Someone dropped a question. All right. You said Okay, Isaac, does a hashtag found in between words in a sentence still interpreted as a comment? For e.g., I want to buy 5 mangoes for. Okay, let's just answer that question now. Like I love this. Let's answer that question. It's a very very nice question because I said that wherever you see an hashtag in Python, it should be what it Python interprets it as a comment. So let me copy this your statement now. Okay, and let's come here. So this was basically, I mean, open. So this was the sentence that the person that Isaac dropped in the group chat. So he was asking if you have this kind of sentence, if Python is going to comment this the 5. So now, first of all, if you are going to have a text like this in Python, what did I tell you initially? You can't just write something like this. A text particularly, it always comes in quotes. Any text you're writing, it should be surrounded by quotes, whether single quotes or double quotes. They should always be surrounded in a quote. So Python will interpret it as a string. So now this comment, this hashtag here is not carrying any relevance because it is part of the quote. It is part of the quote. So if you remove this quote now, like if you not put it inside the quote, you see that it is actually commented from 5. He commented it. As you can see, the syntax, it has changed. Like this one is just there. So if I run this, you see that there's actually a syntax error first of all because there's nothing like I in Python. There's nothing like want in Python, right? So the only thing that makes sense in Python here is this for. So anytime you want to write the text, you make sure that it's enclosed in quotes. That is a string. So basically, I think that should answer your question. Whenever you have hashtag in a sentence or in a text, that text is always enclosed in a quote, so it will not be interpreted as anything. It is interpreted as a string together with of the text there. Hope I answered your question, Isaac. All right, so let's move on. I was talking about docstring, right? So docstring is like a comment, but now this docstring is for functions, right? So docstring is for functions. So if you define a function, docstring is there to explain what that function does. And the syntax for a docstring is triple quotes. Triple quotes. See it here, triple quotes. Triple quotes. Right? So wherever you see triple quotes, what follows it is a docstring. It's like a text, but it's like a comment, but it's basically after you write a function or a class, or you want to define a class, or you want to define a module. So these are actually advanced concepts in Python that would probably not look at, but we would look at functions particularly. So we are going to probably come in contact with a function and then a docstring too. So, but you don't always necessarily have to write a docstring when you write a function. It's just for instances or in cases where you are creating a module or you are creating a library or a module, right? So you want people to be able to understand what a function does, right? So now if you come, let's just go and illustrate to help you understand what exactly we are saying. Now I'll just quickly show you something. Uh, You're not seeing any. Please, those that they should attend to. Okay, sorry. Let me just quickly show you something. Def. Let's say you want to define a function that um would add 2 numbers, right? You can come and say add numbers, right? And you just put the parameter. We'll still talk about function. We've not talked about function yet. So you can come here and put the 2 numbers and then your colon. And you can say, okay, print A plus B. So this is a straightforward function, right? This is if you call the function, you can just put your 2 numbers that you want to add. It's going to give you 7, right? This is a straightforward function. But if you want to add docstring in this case would explain what this function does. So you will start with triple quotes, and then end equal quote. So in between, you can now start typing your this. You can say this function takes in two numbers as arguments and adds and take into numbers argument, add them and print to the so. So now this is now the same function, right? What I just did here is that I added a docstring, like trying to explain what this function does. So this is it basically. This is what a docstring is, right? Although you can still come here and say put a comment creating a function that adds two numbers, right? So this comment is describing what exactly you want to do, but this docstring now is describing the function itself. So let me go back to the material. So you can see the same thing here. So now docstring can actually span multiple lines, right? You see that comment has just one hashtag. Like once you write the hashtag, anything follows is a comment. But for docstring, you don't just have a single three quotes. It has to be in the beginning and it has to be at the end. So anything that is in between is a docstring. Get so that's basically it for that. So to access a docstring to access a function docstring, right? You can just come here and this particular function that we just created. I think every function has an attribute. An attribute. I think this doc attribute, if I'm right. Right. So as you can see, this add number, and then let me just this is add number. This is the function that we created, right? So now we want to understand what the function does. We can just come here and there's what we call attributes. Everything in Python is an object, and each object this might be a little confusing, but in the second class tomorrow we are going to talk about this in details. But for now, just try to understand docstring. It's docstring I'm trying to explain, but it needs me to bring in some other concepts that you don't need to understand now. Tomorrow we'll talk about it. So, but for now, just understand what I'm trying to say. So everything in Python is an object, right? So this list is an object. Everything function is an object. So an object is an instance of a class. So this is actually higher level concept in Python. An object is an instance of a class. So let's say you create an object. The object is animal in Python. So that animal can have that animal is a class, rather is a class. So that animal can have instances of it. So you can have dog, you can have cat, you can have monkey, you can have lion again. So those objects or those instances of that class, they are called objects. And those objects, they behave in the same way. I'm deviating at this point, right? But I'm trying to just explain that. So what I'll do now is not going to look strange to you. So those instances of that class, they have similar attributes. So the animal class that was created, everything that is under it would behave in the same way. Dog or cat or although instances these specific instances, they'll have their special attribute, but they generally behave in the same way. So that is what we call a class and what we call an object. So everything is an object. So this function serves an object, is an object of a higher class. So it has an attribute, something that characterizes it as a function. So now to access the attributes of an object, you use what we call dot notation. I will explain this tomorrow, so don't think about it too much. I will explain objects tomorrow in tomorrow's class. So to access an attribute, you use the dot notation, right? So now there's one attribute that functions have, which is the doc attribute. So you put two underscore and then write doc and then two underscore. To run it, it's going to give you, let me print it so it will come out very well. Print. So now, as you can see, it gives you this docstring that we defined here. Can you see it? So when we printed it out, it gives you, so this function takes in two numbers as arguments and add them and print it. So if you want to understand what a function does, you use this particular attribute, dot underscore underscore doc underscore underscore, right? So let's try it for some other functions that we know. So I think we've used the type function. So this is the docstring. This is what, when they define this type function, remember the type function that we learned. Let me remind us of it. So if you can say type 45, it will give you the data type of that particular system. So that is what type does. I wanted to remind us of that. So now if we access the docstring of that type function, this is what is written there. It's not even elaborate like that. They didn't really write much there. You get, so you see, so this is basically what docstring is. So any function that you have or that you want to understand more of it, you can just use these attributes to get the docstring. So the docstring is more functional in Python than comment. So Python is actually taking note of docstring, you get, and adding it to this doc, right? So for comments, Python is not doing anything at all. It's just there. It's just there. So you get to understand this as we proceed. You get more familiar with it. So let's just move on. Okay. So now we've talked about comment and docstring. Now I'll move on to arithmetic operations. So let's go to our math class now. Let's go back to the days where we did mathematics, arithmetic operations. Yeah. Python can perform arithmetic operations, like very, very simple and also very, very complex arithmetic operations. So I'm going to take you through the arithmetic operations we have in Python. And this arithmetic operation is a type of operations. There are several kinds of operations we have in Python. We have arithmetic operations, we have logical operations, we have comparison operations, we have identity operation, we have membership operations. So all these things, we are going to go through them in the next class. So I'm introducing arithmetic operation here because it is the most basic one. So in tomorrow's class, please be there. I'm going to be talking about the other kinds of operations we have, and they are vital to know. Like, they are important to know. Very, very important. So for this arithmetic operation now, we have several of them. We have addition, which we have subtraction, we have multiplication, we have division, we have floor division. Now you are being introduced to something you might not really know. The ones I've talked about division, you know them, but we have floor division, modulus, we have exponentiation, right? And we have increment and decrement operations. So we are going to go through these different, this is the last part of today's class, so we're going to go through them. So for arithmetic operation, now let's move on to our notebook and then demonstrate them. So we have addition. So as you can see, I have my comment. Just come here. And so now for addition, is something we've been doing since. Very, very straightforward. A is equals, you can say 2 plus 2, 4. Like, it's like finish. That's it for Python. You can just add whatever numbers you want to add Python together. So, but most times you'll not be doing it like that. Most times you might not even necessarily even do it like that. So it is variables you have, right? You have variables. Let's say you have your first variable, number 1 is 50. Is this number 2, or number 2 is another long number. So you just come here and say number 1 plus number 2. So you say maybe you assign to another variable some number. So you assign to that variable. Oh, sorry. So you'd okay. So I'm making a mistake here in the variable name. is number 2 instead. So you can either have it directly showing you the result, or you can assign it to a variable number sum, right? And then you print the num sum. You see, syntax error. Like just be paying attention to the kind of errors we'll be having. So I didn't close the bracket here. So if you don't follow the rules in Python, you'll be having errors, like plenty errors. So I'll close the bracket here, and then I would have my number. So yeah. So now this is addition basically, right? There's nothing more to say about that. So let's go to the next one. We have subtraction. Subtraction. We have number 3. Or let's just use this. Let's just use the same cell. You can come here and you can say subtract. What am I writing? Don't know how to spell again. Subtraction, right? So this is number 1, this is number 2. So you can just come here and change this minus sign to minus, right? So everything will be done. As you can see, 5737 minus this one will give you minus this thing. So basically, it is just the basic arithmetic operation that you know. We have division. So what you just need to know here is the sign that is being used. So for addition, you have this plus sign. For addition, you have this plus sign, right? For addition, you have this plus sign. For subtraction, you have this minus sign. For division, you have this slash sign. So this is the sign for division in Python, /, right? So for floor division, we have this 2 /. So normal division is 1/, floor division is 2 /. I will explain what floor division is in a minute. So for modulus, we have this percentage sign, right? We have percentage signs, all right? So we have exponentiation. For exponentiation, we have 2 asterisks, right? So these are the basic arithmetic operations in Python. So you can just change in or change the sign here. Once you change the sign to division, as you can see, it will divide this number. I get. So it changes sign to, this is normal division. So let me use a smaller number so it will be more intuitive. Let me use 10 and 2. All right, so we come here, you see 5.0. So normal division usually give us a decimal value and output. So if you have 3 here, it will give us 3.3333355. You get. So it gives us a decimal value. It always gives us a decimal value whenever we divide in Python. It doesn't give us an integer, right? So but for floor division gives us just an integer. So if you use floor division now, it will give you the integer. So 10 divided by 3 is what? It's not 3, it's 3.33, but it will give you just the integer. That is what floor division is. Floor division removes the decimal part of the output and gives you just the integer, right? So yeah, that is just it basically. We have modulus. Modulus is basically the remainder, right? If you divide 3 divided by 10, if you do 3 divided by 10, that is that should be 3 in 10 is what? Is 3. Remainder 1, right? So what we have here is 1. It gives you the remainder of the arithmetic operation, give you 1. Let's say you have 4 here. 4 divided by 10 divided by 4 is 2 remainder 2. So to give you 2, as you can see here. Someone asks, does floor division approximate? No, it doesn't approximate. It doesn't approximate. It just gives you just the integer value, that non-decimal part of your answer. Right. So let's just give an instance. So let's give an example here. Let's use one that, let's say 20 divided by 4. No, let's say 7. As you can see, 20 divided by 7 is normal. With normal division, you are going to get 2.85. So normally, if you approximate this number, you're supposed to get 3, right? 3.0. That is normal approximation. But if you use floor division, it will not approximate for you. It will just give you 2. I don't know. So there are instances where you use floor division and instances where you use your normal division, right? There are instances where you use your floor division and there are instances where you use your normal division, right? So it doesn't approximate for you. So just keep that in mind. So your modulus it gives you the remainder. It gives you the remain. You ask your question. Once you are done with the class, I will be done very soon. So you have time to ask your question. Right. So the modulus gives you the remainder of the operation. And then exponentiation. What exponentiation does is it raises that value to the power of another value. It's just like saying 2 raised to the power 4 or 4 raised to the power 2. That is 4 times 4. That is 16. Or 2 raised to the power 4, which is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So that is basically what exponentiation is in Python. So this is the symbol for exponentiation, 2 asterisks. So if I come here and change this thing to 2 asterisks, so what I'm basically saying is that 20 raised to the power 7, that's going to be a big number. So you can see it is, I think, 120. I think I can't even pronounce it, but basically, let me just use a very simpler example. So 5 raised to the power 3 is 125. So this is basically what exponentiation is. So it raises a value to the power of another value. You get, right? So that is it for your arithmetic operation. So this is something you know, this is something you are familiar with, and you would use it as we are moving on in Python, right? So let's move on. So I will be stopping very soon so we can hear your questions. So let's talk about increment and decrement operations. So this is actually something you are going to be using very, very well in Python. Increment and decrement operations. So they are represented, or the syntax for it is plus that particular operation you want to do and an equal to sign. Let me come here and describe it. So now this is basically increment operation. This is a syntax, plus and equal to. Why for decrement operation, it is minus and equal to. So what exactly, how do we use this? So when you come to Python and let's say you have a value, you initialize a variable x is equals to 5, right? And you want to increase 5 by 1. So normally what you will do is just come here, x is equals to x plus 1. This is the normal way you do it. You say x is equals to x is what? 5 plus 1. So it will give you, if you just come here and say print x, it will give you 6, right? It will give you 6. So if I come here again and say x is equals to x again plus 1, I'm literally just increasing x by 1. This is a very long way to do. This is a long way to do. So this particular increment operation is a shortcut of doing the same thing. So if I print this thing out, it will give me 7 because x is now 6. So this 6 now is now coming here and adding it to 1 basically. So if I just come here and cancel everything, I will just say x plus equal to 1, right? So this is the syntax for increasing a variable x. If you want to increase it by 1, you can use 1. If you want to increase it by 2, you can use 2. So let's just use 2 here. So x plus equal to 2. So this syntax will increase x by 2. If I print it, I'll get 7. So that is what increment operation and is in Python, right? So there are cases where you need it, especially when you are running a while loop and possibly a for loop too, right? We'll get to that in tomorrow's class. So for the decrement operation, we use minus instead, right? So let me remove this and initialize the variable. So we use let's say you want to reduce 5 by 2 or by 1. Just come here, minus equal to 1, right? So what will happen here, or let's use 2. What will happen here is that x would be decreased by 2. So it will give you 3. So the same thing, this x equal to 2 is the same thing as x is equal to x minus 2. So this one and this one, they're the same thing. It's just this one is a shorter way of doing it and a more efficient way of doing it in Python, right? So that is just it for this operation. So you can do the same thing for um, division, multiplication, and the rest, right? So if you come here and say x times equals to, so it's everything that you all the arithmetic operation you can do, you can just add it here and assign it to the same to the variable again. So what is happening is that this operation would happen first. X would be multiplied by 2, right? So 5 will be multiplied by 2, which is what? 10. And 10 will now be assigned. Let me remove this thing. And 10 will now be assigned to x again. So you now get x if you print out x, right? So that is it for that. So we are done with the arithmetic operation. I will get your questions in a minute. But before I do that, I just want to say something about comments. So now let's say you wrote your code. You wrote code in Python, and you want to run a particular code. Let me just come here and I say x is equals to x minus 1. This one is already here, but I don't want to run this. I don't want this particular code to run. But what I want to run here is this one and this one. This x is equal to 5 and x times is equal to 2. So I can just come here and add hashtag. Python will comment out the code. So this particular code will not run. So if I run it, this is what is going to run here. If I run it again, it will run, right? So but if I remove this hashtag, you see it is going to run. So comment is also another way of canceling out or removing a particular line of code that you don't want to run at that time. Maybe you are testing something, right? So you can just comment out the code. So that is another way of using comments in Python. I just said let me chip that in because it might come handy. It will definitely come handy while writing your code. So that is it for that. We've talked about comment and doctrine. We've talked about arithmetic operations basically, and we also recapped on what we did last week. So I really want to believe that you've gotten an idea of these basics, right? You've understood this concept because this is the concept we are going to build on going further or going forward. So I don't want anybody to be behind now in all these things we've learned. So if you have any question, I would open the floor now. You just raise your hand and I would unmute you and you speak. Right. So we've come to the end of this Python basics for today's class, and we'll continue tomorrow with some advanced concepts. So the assignment for this particular session, I'll drop it in the Google Classroom, and then you'll see that after tomorrow's class. So after today and tomorrow's class, you'll see your assignment. Right. So any other information that you need, I'll pass it across on the Google Classroom. So I would be all right. So let me just quickly do something before I answer your question. Let me quickly do something. And some persons were actually confused on how to download the assignment file I posted on the Google Classroom. So I'm going to go through that now. I'm just going to demonstrate it for you so you see exactly how it is, how to download your assignment and how also to submit your assignment, right? Although I sent a video earlier to illustrate all that, but I'm going to teach you how to download your assignment now, just to download because I don't think I can submit assignment because I'm a teacher in the classroom. So let me reshare my screen. I would have to move this one and Go to Google Classroom. All right, so this is your Google Classroom. So now, let's assume you're in class one, right? And you see the particular post, an assignment post. Okay, this was the assignment that I gave, as you can see. So I made sure I wrote out instructions. Let me zoom in so you'll be able to see what I'm saying. Yeah. So I made sure I wrote down the instructions. I said open the IPYNB file and download into your computer following the instructions in the previous post. So I gave an instruction here, right? I said read this carefully, right? Read this carefully. When you open the material, it will take you to Google Colab. It's a platform just like Jupyter Notebook. Follow the instruction in the image I attached below to download this IPYNB file to your computer and open it. So now for those that were unable to download that one, so just follow this instruction and what I'm doing right now. So once you get the assignment file, just click on it, right? It will take you to this place. You just wait for it to load. It will take you here, right? Still wait for it to finish loading. Then make sure that you are seeing this open with Google Colab, or you don't even need to open it. You can just download it directly from here. You just click on this download. I'll still come back to that Google Colab, but just say what I'm saying. You download and then you save it. You now have to download now. So now go to the directory. I told everyone here to create a youth drive folder in their desktop. So you can go there where you created a youth drive. So my own is CareerEX. Then you save it here. You save the assignment and then open your Jupyter notebook and go direct to that location when you downloaded this file and open the assignment. So if I come here now, I'm going to see the assignment. So this is the assignment here, right? This, if I let me just refresh this page. I should see my assignments. The processing you are sure. Okay. Let me share my other screen. Let me share my other screen. Sorry. All right, great. So I think you can see it now. So what I said was that when you come here, you click on this file, this particular assignment file. You click on it. It will take you to your browser, right? It will take you to your browser. So this is what you should see in your browser. You should see option to download it. Option to download. This is what you should see here. Then click on it. It will now download. It will ask you where do you want to save it. Then you click on this save as. Save as, not open. Save as. Then click on save as, and then move directly to the folder. Let's say your youth drive folder on your desktop. Move there, and then open the particular folder. This thing is, I don't know what's happening. Okay, you open the particular folder, CareerEX, and then save the assignment there. Yeah, save it. And go to Jupyter Notebook. If you come to your Jupyter Notebook here, you should have your folder, the folder that you have that assignment. You go straight to that folder in your Jupyter Notebook. So you just go there, and it will show you exactly all. Let's just wait for it to load. Taking some time. Time. All right, but normally what you should see, okay, it has come up. So you would see the downloaded assignments here, right? So now this week one, see it here, I've downloaded. So you now click on it. Click on assignments. Right? This is what it's going to give you. It's a template that I created. So for each question, you will create a cell. You come here for question one, click on question one, then add cell. So now you come here and then change it to markdown, and then just put the two hashtag and say answer. right? And then if you need to type it, because this question require you to type some things, you just type it, type whatever it is you want to type, enter. So this is your answer for question one. So let's say for this particular question that is a code that require you to write code, you come here, create a new cell, and make sure it is code though, and then you come here, and then you come and answer the question, print type. You you have to copy all this one, sure. You have to copy everything. Come here. I'm taking my time to do this because I don't want people coming and complain about the same thing. So you just answer the question. Come here, print type A, right? So this is how you answer your questions. Like basically, you would make sure that yeah. How do I copy? You just highlight what you want to copy and Control C, or you right click and where is that? Basically, you just Control C. You so just copy it, and for MacBook, I think it's Command C. So just Control C and come here and paste it. So it's straightforward. I just wanted to show this so we won't have the same issue in the subsequent assignment, right? So that's just it. So to submit the assignment, once you are done with this assignment, it would automatically save. As you are working on Jupyter Notebook, it saves automatically. So you can now come to your classroom, Google Classroom here. As a student, you have different tabs. So the particular place where the assignment is given, you go there and click on the assignment. Click on this assignment. So for students, it will show you an option to submit that assignment, and there will be an option to upload for those assignments that require you to upload the material. You will now upload that file that you've worked on. That should be that file. You upload it directly from this Google Classroom. So we shouldn't be having issues with that again, please. I needed to take time to explain that so we don't have issues with that. So let me um oh sorry, my mic was muted. So Solomon, I've unmuted you. You can go on to speak, please. You raised your hand. Solomon, you raised your hand. Please, if you have any question, raise your hand. I would unmute you. All right. All right. So I think I'll have to go to the group. Seems like some people dropped questions there.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Please go on, Solomon.
Yes, thank you. The last explanation about the incremental and discremental, I do not actually get that very well. So I don't know if you can just recap it more for me a bit.
Okay, all right. So I talked about increment operation and decrement of very straightforward. You just used to can you mute yourself, please? Yes. Thank
Okay,
you.
okay,
So the increment operation, it's used to just increase a number, right? So it's a shortcut. So as I said here, as you can see, it is plus and equal to. So it's a shortcut to increase a number. So for this particular variable, let's say we have a variable that is 5. We assign 5 to a variable. So we want to increase this variable by 2. We use the increment operation. We just come here and say x plus equal to 2. So what this thing means is that we are going to increase this x, which is 5, by 2. That is basically what it is. If it is the decrement operation, it is going to be minus equal to 2. So we are going to decrease this 5 by 2. So that's just it. Like there's really nothing where you can actually um 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 right. But this is the basics. This is the fundamental of what
Okay,
increment and decrement can do. So is that clear?
okay. This last
Is
part
that
of
clear?
this, I think where you see hash x is equals to
Okay.
x minus 1, print x.
Okay. Okay. So what I was doing here was that this particular, okay, let me just say minus 2. This particular statement here, x is equal to x minus 2, is the same thing with this x minus equal to 2. They are the same thing. You get? The difference is just that this one is shorter. This is a shortcut to do this longer stuff. So minus equal to is a shortcut to do this longer process. So this is just this particular operation now is called an increment decrement operation. So this thing you are seeing here is the same thing with this thing, but there are different methods. Is that clear?
All right, thank you very much. Yes, it's clear.
All right. So I'm going to unmute Joseph now. So Joseph, you can speak. Joseph, you're unmuted. You can ask your question. Okay. Taiwo, please go on to speak. I've unmuted you.
All right. Thank you very much, Coach. So I just have a question. Can you help us with a shorthand command where we can easily go through the entire all this reference with these operators, increment operator and the likes? Can you help us with a good shorthand, probably like a sheet or probably
Okay.
like
A
a
cheat
file?
code.
Yes, where we can easily go through the entire and then learn from them. I
All
think
right.
it's going
So
to
yeah.
be
Yeah,
thank
sure, sure. I will include that in the material that I'll be posting on the Google Classroom. So yeah, just look out for that.
All right,
Thank you
thank you.
for noting it. All right. So Babatunde, you can go on to ask your question. You are muted, Babatunde. Please go on to ask your question.
Hello, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir, I can hear you loud and clear. I can hear you, Babatunde. Go on. Okay, please, if you have questions, just raise your hand so I can unmute you. While I think they are sorting their network issue. Okay, Temitope wants to speak. All right, Temitope, you can go on to speak, please. You're unmuted, Temitope.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. You can speak.
All right. The question I want to ask is that I don't know if you can help me with um the Anaconda package for 32 bits because I don't have a laptop and a friend of mine who has a laptop, he has a mini laptop that is running on 32 bits operating system. So I don't know if there's a way you can help me source for the package for that. I don't know
Okay,
if you
okay.
understand.
Yeah, I understand your question. It should be available on the website. I'll check it out and I would get back to you. Uh,
Okay, all right. Thank you,
all
sir.
right, all right. Temitope, you raise your hand, please. You can go on to speak.
Okay, good evening, sir. Thank you very much for
Yeah.
the class.
Good evening. You're
Yeah.
welcome.
I wanted you to go over modulus once more because I'm starting to confuse it with floor division. So if you could
Okay.
go over modulus once again, I'd appreciate it.
All right, great. So now I talked about several of these arithmetic operations. I talked about floor division and modulus. So now what you just have to understand is that floor division is division. floor division, and modulus, they are similar. They are all doing division, but the difference is in the output they give. Three of them, division, floor division, and modulus, they are doing the division operation, but the difference is in their output. So for division, it does the normal division that you do, and it gives you your normal output. So if your output is in a decimal format, it will give you a decimal number. If it is a normal whole number, it will give you a whole number. For floor division, it removes the decimal part of your output and returns just the the integer part. That is the non-decimal part of the output. So what do I mean? If you come here and let me comment this one out. So I come here and I say num, and let me just use normal number. Let me say 6 divided by 2 or 6 divided by 3. I will get 2.0, right? 6 divided by 3 is 2, right? If I use, okay, let me use something else to help you understand better. Let me say 7 divided by 3. I want to get a decimal number. So you can see 2.33333335. So this is the exact output of this. Please, can you mute your mic, please? So now, this is normal division. For floor division, we give you just these 2 without approximating. It won't approximate it. It will just give you this whole number, this integer. So if I add an additional forward slash, that is floor division, and I run it, it will give me just 2. So there are instances where you need this floor division, right? There are cases where you need it, specific cases. It's not as common as normal division. Why for modulus? Modulus is, it gives you the remainder. Like it gives you the remainder of the division operation. Let's say you do 7 divided by 3 is what? 7 divided by 3 is 1. Sorry, 2 remainder what? 1. If you do normal division, right? So it's going to return the remainder for you. So what you're going to get here is 1. Can you see it? So if I come here and I say 13 divided by 3, or let's say 13 divided by 4, it's still 1, right? I want to use an example of something other than 1. Let's say 20 divided by 4, 0, 20 divided by let's say 7. Okay, 6. Can you see it now? It's giving us 6. So when you divide 20 by 7, so it will give you 2 remainder 6. So the remainder is what modulus will give you. That is the output of the modulus operation. It will give you the remainder. So there are cases where you will need to use this modulus operation, right? So that they have specific use cases. So that is just the difference. I hope that answered the question. Timitope.
Yes, you have. Thank you very much.
All right. All right, F Young, I'm unmuting you now. You can speak. You can ask your question. All right, go on, F Young, to ask your question. You're unmuted now. Okay. I saw Aisha hands up. Aisha, you're unmuted. You can go on to ask your question. Aisha Mohammed. Aisha, can you hear me? If you can hear me, please go on to ask your question.
Okay. Hello.
I can hear you. Go on.
And sir, my question is about the last assignment that you gave us.
About what?
Last assignment.
Okay, the class assignment. All right, I can hear you. Your network is breaking. I can barely hear you. Please, can you someone is speaking, John. Someone is speaking, please. All right, Aisha, I can't hear you. Can you type your question on the group chat?
Okay, I already typed it. You can go through it. I already typed it.
Okay, I'll go through it and respond to you. Thank you. All right, John, you can go on to ask a question. Hello. Hello, John. All right. Ezekiel, your hand was up initially. Do you still want to ask question? Amos, Ezekiel, I saw your hand up initially. Do you still want to ask question? You are unmuted now, so you can speak. All right. Someone hand was up now. Emmanuel, yeah, Emmanuel. Emmanuel, you can ask your question, please. You are unmuted now. You can ask your question, Emmanuel. You can unmute yourself and speak, please. Unmute yourself and speak.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, sorry, so much thank you for the wonderful class. Please, my question is about the Jupyter notebook. Though I'm having a little challenge concerning that. I couldn't, I My Jupyter notebook was unable to save auto save. It was failed when I tried to do my assignment these days. After doing the assignment, I discovered that the auto save was failed. So I wanted to ask if there is any way that I can solve the issue.
Okay, okay. So in case of that, you can save it manually. If that is the case, you can always come here, your file, and just save it. Save your
Okay,
notebook
sir.
here, right? So you can save it manually. Once you are done with your assignment, you can just save it, right?
Okay, and the second thing is that having gone through the grading in your assignment, the previous assignment, I discovered that there are some assignment that I have 0/10, 0/10, but I discovered that it was only one assignment that was green, then the other one, so I don't know if that one is omitted.
I didn't get your question.
I say that having gone through the grading in the Google Classroom, I discovered that there are other class assignment work that is 0/10, of which I only happens to do one. I don't know if that one it was a mistake.
Oh, I actually gave two assignments, right? If you started with us, in this class, we went through those assignments. So, for those that didn't do the other assignments, you automatically you don't have any score for that. So, that is why you see that particular grade, right? So, for those that didn't do the assignment, unfortunately, you wouldn't have any score there.
I
So,
submitted one and
that is just the case in this.
okay,
Yeah, I can hear you.
I submitted the two assignment. The first one is just a click. You narrated how you make some correction concerning that. Then the second one was the one that I submitted yesterday. And that one there is one I saw 9/10. So I think that is for that one.
Okay, can you just send me a DM, please? Send
Okay,
me a
okay,
DM on
okay.
my
Okay,
Telegram.
I will do that. Then I will send the screenshot of it.
All right, thank you.
Okay,
All right,
okay, thank you, sir.
Rabiu, I'm going to unmute you now so you can speak. You are muted to ask a question. Unmute yourself, please. Um, I don't know if you can hear me, but if you can hear me, you can go on to ask your question. All right, so Nathan, I'm unmuting you now so you can ask your question. You can unmute yourself and speak, please. Hello. Rabiu, Aruna, I saw your hand up, so I unmute you. Please, can you unmute yourself and speak and ask your question? Hello. All right. I don't know if it's network or they can't hear me, but so we've come to the end of this class. I believe I've been able to attend to your questions. Those ones that I'm unable to attend to, please just drop them on the class group chat. If I didn't see it, please bring my attention to it. So I would go through the question and know what to do about it. I can see Rabi trying to speak. Please go on and ask your question.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, sir, we I really appreciate how good the class is running on, and I have one question that I want to ask you.
All right.
Yeah. So I have submitted my test assignment. So when I take it off, I find out that down to the assignment, I saw something submitted or not, but I have already submitted.
I can't hear you, Rabio. Your network is bad. Please, can you send me a DM? Can you send me a DM on Telegram?
Okay, let me do that. I will do that, sir.
Yeah, send me a DM on Telegram.
Okay, no
All right.
problem. I will do that. I will.
All right. Thank you. So, is there any other assignments before we call it a day? Sorry, is there any other question rather before we call it a day?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I quickly want to ask this question, sir.
All
Uh,
right.
you just taught us about comments today.
Yeah.
So what happened was that the assignment you gave us last week, when I did it, I was using the markdown cell to write assignment, to write answer rather, and any other text that I want to do. If I want to describe what I'm doing, the how exactly like the comment now, you comment means you want to
Yeah.
talk about what
Describe,
you are doing.
explain what you are doing. Yeah.
So I was using Markdown, even though the question I want to ask now is that so for subsequent assignment, is it that I shouldn't use Markdown? Should I just go ahead and use my code cell and use comments
Yeah.
to describe
I get your
everything instead of
question.
using Markdown?
I get your question. Yeah, that's a good question. So for what I meant by comment is when you are writing your code, when you are answering a question that has to do with code, that is when you use comment. Comment is basically to explain your code. You're not using it to answer question or you're not using it to write story or anything. You're just using it to explain the code you are writing. So for those questions that require you to use Markdown, please use Markdown. Those questions that require you to write code, use code cells. But when you're writing those code, now you can now use your comments to explain the code you are writing. I hope that is clear.
Oh yeah, yes sir, I got it. Thank you, sir.
All right, great. So we have come to the end of this class. If you have any other question, please let me know in the group chat. I and my assistant would do justice to it. All right. Thank you very much for your time. Those that stayed with us to the end of this class, thank you very much. It's a very long one. This is about almost 2 hours now. So this shows that you're actually dedicated and you are making and putting in effort to getting so much out of this program. So believe me, if you continue this way, you definitely be happy with yourself at the end of the program. All right. So I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. So we have another session tomorrow from 5 to 7, and we're going to actually be talking about more advanced Python concepts. So prepare yourself. I will drop some materials for you to prep ahead of the class tomorrow. And yeah, going ahead from now, we are in for a very long ride. So just prepare your mind, and I wish you a nice day. So anyway, if there's another question, please just drop it in the group. Thank you very much.